This is section 2.1, Slope-Intercept Form, day 2. So on day 1, we talked about figuring out slope, which we said was rise over run, or the change in y over the change in x. And today we're going to take it a step further and talk about slope-intercept form of a line. So slope-intercept form of a line, so writing an equation of a line, is this y equals mx plus b. M is still going to represent our slope, and b is going to be our y-intercept. It's okay to, your goal is to have a y and an x in your equation, because think, we're talking about points on a line, which come as x, y. So in this case, on this graph, it says that our slope is 2, and our y-intercept, or where it crosses the y-axis, is 3. So our equation, we just plug in our slope and our y-intercept. Y equals 2x plus 3. So that means all of the points on this line follow the rule y equals 2x plus 3. So let's look and let's find the slope and the y-intercept of each graph. So let's first talk about slope. Remember, for slope, we need to find 2 points. So here's one, and then if we keep going, I see one up here. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 3, our slope is 8/3. Our y-intercept, we look where the blue line, or the graph of the line, crosses the y-axis, which is right here. And I see that it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's at the point 0, 4. So our y-intercept is 4. Same thing on the next one. I find a point, and I find another point, and I find the slope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went down 5. And over 1, 2, 3 to the right. So our slope is negative 5/3. And our y-intercept here is at the point 0, 1, so our b is 1. Now let's do that same thing, but from an equation. So looking at the first one, our slope is the number in front of the x here, so we have our -2, so m equals -2. And our y-intercept is what's added or subtracted at the end, which is +2. And I don't even have to write the plus, it just is 2. All right, next one. Slope is the number right in front of the x, which is the 3/5. That means our y-intercept is what's ever added or subtracted at the end, which is -4. Here our slope is going to be 1/4 because it's what's right in front of the x. Our b value is 1. The next one, notice that there is no number in front of the x, so we assume it to be 1 because multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. So it's like there's a hidden 1 here. And it doesn't have a number for b, so we have to think, what number can we add that doesn't actually change anything? So in that case, it's actually 0, so our y-intercept is 0. On the next one, notice that we don't even have an x. So that means the x is gone, and what number can we multiply by an x to make it go away? Well, that's 0. So this is saying the same thing as y equals 0x minus 4. That gives us a slope of 0 and a y-intercept of -4. We're going to skip this one and look at the next one. X equals 3. So let's think back about when we talked about slopes. An x equals 3, if we graphed it, here's our x-axis and our y-axis. X equals 3 is the vertical line here at 3. And we see, by looking at it, our slope is undefined. Because remember, when it's straight up and down, our slope is undefined. And our b value is our y-intercept. Well, it's parallel to the y-axis, so it never actually crosses it. So we have none. There is no y-intercept. And last thing for this lesson, writing each equation in slope-intercept form. So in the last unit, we talked about solving for a certain variable when we have more than one. So when we have 3x plus 4y equals 8, to put it in slope-intercept form, we are solving for y. So that means we have to get rid of everything except for the y. So I'm going to subtract 3x first. So we get 4y equals, you could write 8 minus 3x, but since I know that slope-intercept form is mx plus b, I'm going to do the negative 3x first. So negative 3x plus 8. And divide by 4. I'm going to divide everything by 4. Remember last chapter I said it was okay if you did this. In this case, I want you to do divide every number by 4 or every term. So we get y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. So we know our slope is negative 3/4 and our y-intercept is 2. Let's try that again with another example. So 10x plus 3y equals 2. Same thing, we want to get y by itself, so subtract 10x from both sides. 3y equals negative 10x plus 2. Divide everything by 3 to get y by itself. So we get negative 10/3 x plus 2/3. Our slope is negative 10/3, and our y-intercept is 2/3. And last example for the day. 11x plus y equals negative 5. Trying to get y by itself, so subtract 11x. Y equals negative 11x minus 5. Y is already by itself, so we're good there. Notice our slope is negative 11, and our y-intercept is negative 5.